So I wanted to talk about the Softube, the console one, and that was such a interesting concept. I was a dealer, I guess maybe 15 years ago. I think I'm still a dealer for this stuff, um, but I saw the console one, and they kept on advertising it, and I didn't understand the whole concept completely. And I said, you know what, I should just order one in here and try it out. So I got one in, and I got the very first model and I installed it on my demo rig, and I start playing around with it, and it's so dead easy to use. You put their plugin up on every channel, and then you have their EQ compressor and stuff that they have, and you can have different versions, but I just used the one that came with it, and it just clicked with me. I'm going, this thing is pretty cool. So I just called up a session and start bouncing between tracks, going from track 1 to 10 to, wherever I heard a problem, I just clicked the button up on the top of the control surface. And then I could, tactily, hit the EQ and the compressor. So I was flying around this mix, and it was just fun. It was just a delight to do this whole thing. And this thing didn't take up much space on your desktop, because a lot of control surfaces they're just too big. But this thing was small enough that you could put it aside when you weren't using it. So I got real excited about this thing, and I start calling up clients and saying, this is a really great idea. And I was trying to convince them that this is such a cool thing and they should come in and try it out. And one after another, people will go, George, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I don't think it's something for me. And I was like, oh. And I never sold one. I had my demo one and never sold another one. And I go, this is such a great idea. And if you just sit down with it, it works perfectly. I mean, it really, really works well. And it wasn't that much money either. And the funny thing is, as I was playing with it, I go, wow, I'm going to sell a ton of these things. And like I said, I didn't sell any. But the funny thing is, the company starts selling a ton of them. And I always wondered in the back of my head, I said, why did they sell so many and I couldn't sell any of them? And I guess maybe because it was cheap enough, you could order from Sweetwater or, one of those mail order houses, probably maybe even Amazon now, and just have it next day. And that's that. Because they just wouldn't take off. But now I think that was version 1, and I still have it in a box someplace around here, and I'm not using it. I can't, there's reasons I can't use tactile stuff. But now I think they're up to version 3, and there's this whole cottage industry of making side panels for them, so you can use their fader module with their control surface module, and it looks like a little console when you're done with it, and it does look very, very slick. And I guess they're selling a ton of them now. But the whole point of this is sometimes you come across something and you go, wow, this is just I'm going to sell so much of it. But all I get back from my clients is, I appreciate your enthusiasm, George. And I think a lot of my clientele, selling them cheaper stuff, they're not interested in. They're interested in the more expensive stuff. And it's not a bad problem to have, because, if I get a $10,000 microphone, I could sell that easier than I could sell $1,000 microphone, because my clientele is waiting for me to bring them something that's just going to blow them away. And that I talked about that before. I have to recommend things that I think will really impress a client, and it's something that they don't have, and they think this is something that they could take advantage of. So the whole story here is, sometimes I find cheaper things that I think are great, and they just don't take off. But if you haven't tried one of those things, try it out. I mean, maybe a dealer can set it up for you. But it is really, really interesting, and it's, like I said, it's fun. It's you're mixing things quickly with this little tiny control surface. So there you go. It's about the Softube Console 1.